Morning. His vote is moving forward this morning, guys, and that is expected to happen. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of talk about what happened last night on this committee. But, guys, I think what's really important right now is actually talking to the members, seeing what's actually going on. Who I want to bring in right now, Senator Sherrod Brown. He is an Ohio Democrat. He is on the Senate Finance Committee. And, Senator Brown, if you could just kind of lay out, what was the rationale here for the decision to not show up to this Senate Finance hearing?
Well, the rationale was every Democrat on this committee has pointed out that these two nominees lied to the committee. And the Columbus Dispatch, one of our most conservative newspapers in my state, pointed out how Steve Mnuchin lied about robo-signings, causing the foreclosures on many, many homes in my state. I live in zip code, my wife and I live in zip code 44105 in Cleveland. 10 years ago, that zip code had more foreclosures than any zip code in America, and I know what that does to people's lives when they're foreclosed on. And I want Secretary-designee Mnuchin to come clean and tell the committee what in fact he did, not lie to us again, tell us what he did. He's called the king of foreclosures by a number of people because of his work with this One West Bank. And Congressman Price came out last night in the Wall Street Journal, another very conservative newspaper in America, said that Congressman Price lied about a stock transaction. He had basically inside information, or was given an advantage that few had while he was in the House, while he was working on health care bills and amendments, sitting on the right health care committee, and he was buying and selling stocks. And we want to know more about this before we vote on them. It's what the American public wants to know, that these are two people, if they're willing to lie to Congress like this on something as important as foreclosures and health care, what would they do in these two very important jobs?
So, Senator, is that the issue? You want specific written responses from each of these individuals, or the strategy or kind of repercussions will be you will continue to boycott en masse, en bloc, if you will, going forward for these nominees?
Yeah, I would like these two nominees to go back in front of the committee and explain themselves. Two major newspapers, Columbus and the Wall Street Journal, said they lied. These are papers that there's no political slant they have except to be pretty pro-Republican most of the time. I want them to explain how they lied, why they lied. I'd like them to apologize. I don't know that people in this administration will ever do that. But fundamentally, it's the impact they have on foreclosures in my state and the impact that Mr. Congressman Price will have on wanting to raise the eligibility age for Medicare. I mean, they're public positions that they've taken, and we want to know more, and we want them to come back in front of the committee. I'm happy to vote on them at that point, but they've got to disclose what they've in fact done.
But, Senator, I think the big question is, obviously, Senator Hatch, the chairman of the committee, has said that's not going to happen. This has happened with a couple of nominees. They feel like they've run the process as far as they're going to before a vote. So what does it mean when Senator Hatch calls a vote again, as he's likely to do?
I'm surprised that Senator Hatch, who I have a lot of respect for, I've known for years, that he would put his name out there in support of two people that lied to his committee with him sitting in the chairman's seat. I mean, they lied to him, they lied to all of us. They lied not about something minor, they lied about foreclosures and robo-signings. They lied about stock trades that they profited from, probably profited from the position they had as members of Congress. That's a pretty serious thing, and I wouldn't think that Chairman Hatch would want to put his imprimatur, his stamp of approval on two people that did that without clearing it up to the satisfaction of most members of the Senate, and certainly the satisfaction of people in this country who will suffer from this kind of activity.
But, Senator Hatch said he called what happened today, what Democrats did today, kind of the most disappointing moment of his career. Obviously, he's the longest-serving senator in the U.S. Senate. What's your response to that?
Well, Senator Hatch has been here for, I don't know, 36 years, 38 years, I think. I can't imagine this is one of his most disappointing moments. I thought I would be more disappointed if I were he. And the fact that these two nominees in the Trump administration lied to his committee with him sitting in the chair, and I believe they both took an oath to tell the truth. I mean, that's a lot more bothersome to me than whether, we showed up for the vote today after it was postponed one other time. And I'm always willing to work, but my work is going to be for those people who Secretary Mnuchin, if he's confirmed, the damage he could do home foreclosures into housing in this country, or when Secretary-designate Price, if he's confirmed, what he would do about raising the eligibility age for Medicare. That's way important, more important than hurting the feelings of a United States Senator who has a well-paid job with a good title and good health insurance.
Senator, one more quick one before I let you go. Is this the kind of thing we could see from Senate Democrats going forward repeatedly on multiple nominations, slow things down, use the limited leverage you have in the minority?
Well, it's not a question of leverage in the minority or being upset by an election. It's a question of how do you make sure this process has some integrity. And, you know, if we hadn't done this, these guys would have probably been confirmed, and then 3 weeks later, more stories break about their dishonesty, and then you got a scandal in the administration. So frankly, we may have done a favor for Donald Trump here by exposing this before these guys are in office, and then the press figures out how they lied on other things too. So I mean, we certainly did the right thing for my state of Ohio, and Senator Casey in Pennsylvania, and others did the right thing for our states and for our country by exposing this before they come to a final vote, because this is serious. These are basically illegal or illicit activities on stock trades, for people voting on health care bills, and for a guy that was a banker and foreclosed, and a lot of people that were innocent and lost their homes and their lives turned upside down.
Yeah, Senator Sherrod Brown, Democrat from Ohio, on the committee that Democrats just chose not to show up for to help move forward some of President Trump's nominations. Thank you very much for your time, sir. I appreciate it. Kate and John, you can see, obviously, a lot of things moving right now on Capitol Hill between the hearings, between the nominees, between what's happened over the last 24 hours. Yeah. And don't forget, we have a Supreme Court nominee tonight, so I don't think things are slowing down anytime soon.